I do want to talk about Cersei Lannister and her new ally, or ally-to-be, Euron Greyjoy. Let's talk about, before we talk about how Euron has completely changed as a character between seasons, his gift that he promises her. I have a theory.
Yeah, you have a theory, and I think it's a very good theory.
So Euron promises Cersei that he will give her a special gift to prove his loyalty, something that she needs. To me, it's Gendry. Like, we've been asking for seasons, when is Gendry coming back? Is he still rowing? He actually, Joe Dempsey was on the tip sheet for the carpet. He was at the premiere last night. So I'm like, I freaked out. Yeah. I know, I was like, okay, so Gendry's got to be coming back this year. People have been waiting. We're leaning into fan service. But the final Baratheon heir who could possibly claim the throne, that to me is like the greatest gift and pledge for loyalty and pledge for I will find your enemies and destroy them that you could possibly want from him.
And I don't think bringing Gendry back is just fan service. There are characters that could just disappear and never come back because they're not that important. Gendry is important because of his bloodline, what he represents, and in a show that is literally about the Game of Thrones, you know, who Gendry is important. And so they have to bring him back at some point.
I feel like it could be next episode.
And again, only 12 episodes of this series left at this point.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it could be the next episode. It could be very soon. But I do want to talk, what we were talking about Euron.
Swagger Pirate King.
Very entertaining scene. Very entertaining character who we've never met before. Yes, we met Euron last season, played by the same actor. But not only did he have a hip new look, but just acted completely different. I mean, it was basically them sort of, you know, making fun of the depiction on the show of, you know, that family prior to now, because he was pointing out, like, the Greyjoys, like, oh, that's just kind of like a dirty, nasty, ugly place you wouldn't want to be. But it was just funny because Euron did not act at all like he acted last season. But it was an improvement. You just had to kind of say, they reset this character.
They did a hard reset, and I think what's fun about him is he will be a villain this year, just like I would call Cersei a villain this year, but a very playful villain and a very playful premiere. I wonder if the show is going to remain this funny from here on out. It lost a lot of the very serious, sincere qualities of the earlier seasons, I think, and even that Sam sequence in Old Town. It just was a lot more playful and fun, and this scene really embodied that to me.
Yeah, no, it was very, and it's funny because you think about playful villains on Game of Thrones. I suppose Ramsay was playful, but he was reprehensible.
Playful in a way that we're like, we don't want to play that game.
Yeah, whereas Euron, it's like, you know, he has these quips. He has this line about, when she says, you killed your own brother, he's like, you should try it, it's really great. You know,
he's like, what is going on?
So it does feel like maybe they feel like, you know, Tyrion's kind of been the go-to for you know, quippy stuff, but maybe they want a villain who can represent that, who isn't at a Joffrey or Ramsay level of horribleness. He's just a guy who's just like, I'm just here to gain some power, and, you know, I'm just here, he's having fun with his villainy. Again, this is not the dude we met last year, but I thought it was a fun scene.
And I will say, it's been 6 years since the release of A Dance with Dragons, so we're very far past any book material right now, but I'm so curious to see how the depiction of Euron in the books will severely differ from the depiction on the show. I think they're two completely different characters at this point. They don't really have any source material to go on, but I don't think that this version of Euron, the more playful, I'm just here to cause chaos and wreak havoc, is going to match with the Euron who we know in the books. And hopefully for good reason. I don't think the books are as funny as the show is right now.
No.
And if you want more Game of Thrones, we have two fun interviews that came out recently. We had Gwendolyn Christie, who plays Brienne, and Nikolai Coster-Waldau, who plays Jaime, interview each other, and it's just as adorable as you would hope. And also, I'm going to plug that Kit Harington interview where he was talking about why Sansa is an irritant this season, and I'm very intrigued to see how that
I disagree, Kit. Disagree.
So does she. And I think that'll about do it for us today, but we'll see you next week. We'll see you for all things Game of Thrones. Keep it here on IGN.
Dragons on the Wall.